Fast Mart in the 3900 block of Coffee Road was robbed by a man who was armed with a rifle. He confronted the clerk outside of the store as he was locking up, pointed the rifle at his head, forced him back inside the business, and took some money and a few things of merchandise. Officers came into the area shortly after and found the suspect in the neighborhood just a few hundred yards away from the store. He took off running. The officers gave chase, confronted him in the front yard of a home.
We saw a cop running behind a man on foot, and he asked him to stop several times, and he wouldn't. And he asked him that if he wouldn't stop, that he'd shoot. He went into a neighbor's yard, and as he entered through the yard, we heard 3 gunshots. So me and my friend just turned around and came back home, and then they started taping everything off, and we heard more cop cars coming through. So
ultimately, the officer saw the suspect reach into his waistband area. Officer fired his weapon, shot the subject, who died at the scene. The investigation's still ongoing. We're just hours into it. There's an investigation going on by the District Attorney's Office, the Modesto Police Department, and the Modesto Police Department Internal Affairs. So there's really 3 concurrent investigations that are going on right now. The person who was shot, who died at the scene, he has been identified as Jeremy Atkinson, born in 1972. He is a resident of Modesto. He has a extensive criminal history. He was currently wanted on 2 felony warrants, one out of Merced and one out of Modesto, both for theft-related incidents. He does have an extensive criminal history that includes some acts of violence. And we've also linked him to 5 armed robberies that have happened in the city of Modesto in the last 4 months, where a gun has been used in all of those robberies. Clearly, the propensity of violence anytime an armed robbery occurs is always there. I mean, it is a violent crime. We've seen recently in Stanislaus County where clerks have been executed by armed robbers. And in our history, it's happened in Stanislaus County. Even clerks who have cooperated with subjects have still been shot and killed by them. So there's always that threat of violence there whenever something like this happens. We did recover the weapon that was used in the robbery. We also recovered the money that was taken from the store and some other items that were taken from the store. No officer goes out at the beginning of their shift and wants to fire their weapon. It's the last thing that they want to do. But they have it there, and if they have to, then they most certainly will. In this case, there are a lot of victims. The officer is a victim as well, and so is the suspect's family, and anyone else who's involved with it, has been victimized by the suspect who's put himself in this case here.